Hello. Welcome to the show. Just saw today I would give some brief overviews of the hardwares that are being released in August and September. I think we'll just go in reverse chronological order. So we'll start with the most recent event, which is the Microsoft Surface event that happened just 2 days ago or yesterday, I believe. So what they did is Microsoft basically refreshed their whole Surface lineup. So we'll go through each of these devices individually and point out some of the major difference of this new device from their previous generation and how that could, potentially improve the performance. So first we have the Surface Duo 2. This is almost exactly 1 year from its previous generation Surface Duo. So this is a folding screen Android phone that has a customized Android system that's, I believe it's a collaboration between Google and Microsoft. So I don't know if people have seen the last generation, but it's basically a two 6-inch screen that can be unfolded and expands into a 8-inch screen. So you can use it either as a 8-inch tablet with possibility of splitting the views, or you can even fold one side of the screen all the way to the back. So it's like a 360-degree fold. And that way, you have a device that looks more like a traditional smartphone. I think it's slightly wider, so more like a passport shape. While the major shortcoming of the last generation released in 2020 is at first it doesn't have any rear cameras, so you have to use the front video call camera if you want to take photos. However, this new generation, they released a full array of cameras on the back. So you have your regular wide angle camera, your ultra wide, and also your telephoto camera to take pictures of objects at very further distance. So it's a very similar setup as the triple camera setup you see on the back of iPhone. And some other upgrades, including now it has the most recent Qualcomm processor, Snapdragon 888. So that should be much faster than the previous one because in the previous Surface Duo, the processor was already outdated when it was released. So now it also supports 5G connectivity with additional RAM, so 8 gigabytes of RAM instead of 6. Other hardware upgrades, including it also has NFC now, so it can be better used for things like mobile pay. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this device. And I guess one last design change is now they have the slightly larger dual screens with a curved edge on the inside. So if you look at one of these pictures here, you can see that when you fold the phone close like a small book, on the edge, you can still see a little bit of the screen. So it also functions as a notification bar. So you can see certain color bar for things like, text messages, phone calls, or other app notifications. This thing starts at $1,500, pretty similar to the last generation, and it's targeted as people who need a device that can both serve as an Android phone and an Android tablet. Right, so our next, just one last update. So this device, it will get the latest Android version, which is Android 11, and it will soon be upgraded to Android 12, hopefully. And the last generation Surface 2 will also get upgraded to Android 11 as well. So next, let's talk about the Surface Pro families. So basically, what they did to the Surface Pro 8, this latest generation, is they completely revamped the design. So now it's adopted a design that's much closer to the Surface Pro X, which was released last year as well. So the Surface Pro 8 and Surface Pro X now they share the same shape. So it's a 13-inch screen Windows tablet with much thinner bezel. So if you look at the front of the screen, it's just mostly screen now without especially the thick bezels on the left and right. And also it has more rounded corner and edges, should be better to hold in hand. And it has a upgraded keyboard, slightly larger in shape, and has a slot to charge your and store your Surface Pen. So these new generations of Surface Pro pens, they are now shaped more like a flat pen instead of a circular shaped pen. So it should fits better for somewhere in their hands, and definitely smaller in size and lighter to carry. Some other major hardware upgrades for the Surface Pro 8 includes now it has a high refresh rate screen, so 120 hertz instead of 60 hertz. Should be much better for medium consumption or browsing web pages. When you scroll the web page, it should feel much more fluid. And also, if you're doing those not so high demanding games, you can definitely see maybe the refresh rates will break 60 hertz and utilize these high refresh rate screens. We are definitely seeing a slight price rise for these devices. I believe it's about $200-300 more expensive than the last generation. But then you consider all the hardware upgrades and the renewed new design. So I think it's definitely worthwhile for people who have had the same Surface Pro for a couple of years. If they're looking for a brand new device, then this would definitely be a worthwhile upgrade. Some other upgrades include they also upgraded their entry-level Surface tablet, the Surface Go 2. So now it's Surface Go 3. Nothing changed much on the outside. They just slightly upgraded the processor, so it can keep up with the increased demand from the software. At least it can run your daily software still pretty fluently. So yeah, this is for people who are just looking for a 10-inch screen like a regular iPad, and they just need this tablet to do some basic Windows stuff. Then this will be your ideal choice. And last, let's talk about the Surface Laptop Studio. So this is their brand new product, just never had a previous generation like this before. So what this device looks like, if you can really picture it right now, is it's basically a mixture of all the previous Surface products just mashed together. So Microsoft, they did a few generations of desktop computers called Surface Studio, where they have a rotating hinge to hold the screen. So they bring that to the Surface Lab Studio, as you can tell in the name. So now the screen can actually hover around its middle by a hinge. And then it also looks pretty similar to a traditional Surface laptop, if you just have the hinge at 0 degrees. So what this does is it basically has a dual hinge setup. You can rotate the laptop screen either by the bottom hinge or the middle hinge. So what this allows is 3 different modes of use for the Surface Lab Studio. The first one is that you can use that as a traditional clamshell laptop. Second one is you can slightly rotate the screen around its middle span, and then you can push the screen or pull the screen slightly towards you, so you have a presentation mode. So now the keyboard will be covered by the screen, and you only see the trackpad in front of the screen. And the third mode is what they call a studio mode, or maybe more familiar to most people is just called a tablet mode. So you rotate the screen 180 degrees around its middle part, so it will lay fully flat on top of the keyboard and the trackpad. So now you basically get a two-in-one tablet instead of a regular laptop. And of course, you can use the Surface Pro Slim Pen to draw or sketch on the screen. And similar to the Surface Pro 8, this one also has a 120 Hz display and even larger screen size. I believe this one's 14.4 inch, so 2400 by 1600. Yeah, so that's pretty much on a similar scale as a MacBook Pro. Well, these are all the new Surface news I have for today. So this Surface Lab Studio, at last, it will be the most powerful device they have. So you can get all the professional gaming level GPUs and up to 32 gigabytes of RAM and 2 terabytes of removable SSD storage, starting at $1,600. Which honestly I think it's might be a better deal than the Surface Pro 8 for people who are just looking for a serious workstation machine. So on the next sub-episode, I will cover more news that happened in August and September, mostly the new iPhone devices. Right now, I'm just been going through some of the performance review of these new iPhones, and it seems like they still had a surprising huge performance jump in terms of both CPU and GPU, and now they seem to just crush all the power demanding games. So I'll bring more news about iPhones hopefully next week. And tomorrow I will start a new series called the most popular apps developed or made in China. And we'll talk about our first app called Genshin Impact, which is the fastest growing mobile game so far. Yeah, thank you for listening, and I will see you soon.